Hey guys, today we'll be going over how to do the exotic bounty chain for the pulse rifle Bad Juju and the shotgun Invective. As usual, to get an exotic bounty, you just need to keep turning in your Vanguard and Crucible bounties, and eventually you should receive a set of exotic bounties to pick from. We'll start with Bad Juju, which can be selected from either set of bounties that you can get under the name of Toland's Legacy. The first thing you'll do is talk to a Cora Ray, and she'll tell you to look for fragments of his journal. You'll have to run any 25 strikes to complete this part of the bounty. The easiest way to do this is to just speed run through the summoning pits or the nexus. These are definitely the fastest strikes to do, and you can do them at any difficulty. Going with random people, I was able to clear the summoning pits in around 7 to 8 minutes per run. You could probably do that a little bit faster if you bring a couple of friends. The weekly heroic gives you 2 completions, and the nightfall gives you 3 completions, but I don't know if it's repeatable. I didn't try. After you complete the 25 strikes, you'll head back to a Cora Ray for the next part. She will send you to the gunsmith. The gunsmith will tell you to visit Zur with a black market coupon to buy a darkness-infused weapon frame, which will cost you 1 strange coin. After you buy the frame, head back to the gunsmith for the next part, which requires you to get 10,000 Guardian kills in Crucible. Alright, so it's not exactly 10,000 Guardians, because each person that you kill is worth 75 points. Warlocks are worth double, 150 points, so you'll need in between 67 and 134 kills in order to complete this part of the bounty. 134 is the most you'll need, 67 is the least, but I really doubt you'll be killing 67 Warlocks in a row in Crucible. You do not lose points for death, so die as much as you want, but obviously staying alive is a little bit better. You can run whatever mode that you want. I like Control because compared to something like Rumble, where 25 kills is the most that you can get, with Control, you can get more than 25 per game depending on your skill level. After you get your 10,000 Guardian points, head back to the gunsmith to get your shiny new Bad Juju. Bad Juju is definitely not the strongest exotic weapon right now. With only 15 shots per reload without the bonus and very low impact, it has its problems. Even with its main bonus, it's not the best gun considering its very low damage, taking up to 8 or 9 headshots to kill in PvP, and even more shots without headshots, almost the majority of the magazine. With the bonus in PvE, it becomes an okay weapon, but definitely not the best. However, you shouldn't dismantle this weapon just yet, as Bungie knows that this weapon is not very good right now, and will be buffing Bad Juju sometime in the near future. I will have a pre-buff and post-buff comparison video when the buffs come to this weapon. I will say that this bounty is more along the lines of what I expect for an exotic weapon bounty compared to something like Super Good Advice, where the hardest part of getting Super Good Advice was simply waiting for Zur. We'll move now to the exotic bounty for Invective, which is a shotgun and has a somewhat similar mission pattern as Bad Juju. I actually did both of these at the same time. To get the shotgun Invective, you should select the option A Dubious Task. If you do not have that option, then you cannot get Invective with the batch of missions you received. The first thing you'll do is talk to Cora Ray, and she'll tell you to go complete 5 strikes without dying. The easiest way to do this is to just speed run through the summoning pits or the nexus, much like if you were doing Bad Juju. These are definitely the fastest strikes to do, and you can do them at any difficulty. Going with random people, I was able to clear the summoning pits in around 7 to 8 minutes per run, probably a little bit faster if you bring a couple of friends. You should definitely play it a little bit safer since you don't want to die, although supposedly if you're playing with friends, if you die you can go back into orbit and join back on your friends who are still in the strike and the death will be removed, something that really needs fixing in my opinion. I'm not saying you should be careless despite that information because it still takes up a little bit of your time. After you complete those 5 strikes, head back to Cora Ray for part 2. She'll tell you to earn a 25 kill death spread in the Crucible. This does not mean you have to go into a game of Crucible and get a KD ratio of 25 in one game. This means that at any given point during this part of the mission, you need to have 25 more kills than deaths. For example, if you get 17 kills in a game and 9 deaths, you'll be at 8 out of 25 for this mission. However, after my first game where I went 21-7 with 8 assists in Control, my completion was at 22 out of 25. If we add assists to the mix, that means I was 29-7, which would give the 22 out of 25, but I didn't check my bounty status often enough during the game to come to a specific conclusion. This can be performed in any Crucible game mode. My favorite is Control, and I like it because it doesn't cap the amount of kills that you can get, unlike something like Rumble. After you complete part 2, head back to Cora for part 3. Part 3 requires you to simply complete a weekly strike activity. This can be either the weekly heroic or the nightfall heroic. If you're level 28 or higher, I'd actually encourage doing the nightfall instead of the weekly, because the nightfall typically gives you a burn modifier, which increases the damage of an element by 300% by your weapons. It also buffs the enemy's weapons, but I would argue that the benefits outweigh the negatives. If the weekly heroic has a burn modifier on it for that week, just run the weekly instead. Obviously, if you're not level 28 or higher, you should just run the weekly. After you complete the weekly activity for part 3, you'll have one more thing to do. You'll need to go to the gunsmith and buy the final component from him for 50 special ammo synthesis. That'll cost you 12,500 glimmer. After you buy the component, head back to a core array to pick up your brand new shotgun. I haven't done Pocket Infinity yet, but I'd have to say that so far this is probably my favorite exotic bounty because it had you do a little bit of everything. Prove yourself in strikes, PvP, and do something in the post-20 world of Destiny. I hope to see a lot more bounties like this one, and ones that are even harder than this in the future. As for the shotgun itself, all of its stats are pretty average, but the reload is very slow. However, the main draw of this weapon is its continually refreshing ammo so that you'll never run out. But there you have it, guys and gals, Bad Juju and Invective. Like I said, hang on to Bad Juju and wait for that buff before dismantling it. Hopefully they'll be buffing the damage or ammo capacity on it, or both, if we're lucky. That'll do it for me, everyone. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.